Don't lose your way. Your mind, we have to be as one.
What's going on, YouTube? Warstorm here, coming at you guys with another episode of Team APS Community Tournament. Today we're having another one of my matches with. I was playing Odd Eyes Magicians versus my buddy Bloopers Included, and I actually brought him along for commentary today. So hello to everybody.
Hello.
So I actually thought it would be a little interesting for this particular duel to get like both players' perspectives and kind of see what we were thinking. So I believe I chose to let you go first, which I would argue is a bit of a misplay on my part. I don't feel like it's ideal to let a Burning Abyss player go first, at least in my opinion.
Yeah. Here I don't exactly remember what I had in hand, but I was just trying to make a pretty big board because, like, going first against Pendulum with BA Kaiju there really isn't much I can make besides a Beatrice. And here I was just trying to set up a board. And then I got pretty happy when I milled that Kaiju Slumber because I just figured that if you're going to go ahead and make Vortex Dragon, then I can just go ahead and banish it to bait it out, or I can go ahead and bait it out first and then Kaiju it away.
Yeah, and you've got to have kaijus. Like the kaijus were like definitely something that I knew. I kind of had an idea you were playing, and so I was like, okay, like I know that it's probably like one of your few outs for Kieran, correct?
Against Keaton, yeah, it's probably, as far as main deck wise, I think it's my only out.
Yeah, that's what I was like. That's one of the things I've noticed. Like a lot of people talking about Kieran and and how annoying it is. But I definitely don't think it's a ban worthy card or limit worthy card. I just think it's just annoying to face.
Yeah, Kieran has easily become like Pendulum's strongest monster because just being able to have dangerous board presence because against Burning Abyss it really hurts. Like it's a big fear that I had that you were gonna bring out because all you can do is just bounce back my Dante and then it's really hard. Like it easily gets over Beatrice, and it's untargetable and makes Farfa dead against it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I believe in my build, I was actually like running multiple Bunbakus as well, so it's not like Kieran was that hard for me to access.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, my build was like this isn't like normally like this. And as I opened the Abductor, and Abductor, I wasn't a big. I didn't was kind of skeptical about the Abductor build, but then when I tested it, I actually really like it. I mean, I don't think it's ideal, but it certainly is like not a terrible card. For
Yeah,
sure.
I found a lot of the better or competitive Pendulum players have been playing the Abductor build just because inherently it makes your consistency a whole lot better because especially if you're playing Dracos because then you can go ahead and activate Master Pendulum and blow itself up and then activate another scale for an easy 2 counters.
Yeah, I mean, in my build, it was kind of like similar to what like Jeff Jones's build. I think we saw not too long ago. So that was one of kind of like it's not too much different. I mean, my personal build I was playing is a lot different. I think I'm actually running the Dark Engine and not playing Abductor. Although I'm still kind of trying to figure out a lot of the ratios and the like. All right, there we go. And then I had Pendulum Calls that kind of like set me up for quite a bit ways to go to make a really ridiculous board.
Yeah. If I'm correct, here I believe I had a Twin Twister, and I searched out Tour Guide off of Scarm, I believe. Yeah.
And you're kind of before and that's one of the things I've noticed with magicians is that people really have trouble how easily you can just completely reset your scale. But then here I was like, oh wait, I can't activate Wisdom Eye due to Pendulum Call.
Yeah.
I don't know if you caught it, but
I didn't catch the Wisdom Eye at first. Because it's been a while since I played Magicians, so I was unfamiliar about that ruling.
Yeah, and I just realized that I was just like, oh fuck.
Yeah,
I was just realizing I'd activated Pendulum Call that turn, so I was like, well fuck, I can't. The biggest thing like you have to worry about with magicians is cards like Twin Twister, and you have to kind of like play your scales properly, and that's one of the things I think I might have misplayed here for sure. But
yeah,
like that kind of left me in a bit of a predicament because I was like, okay, like I can't, probably don't have a lot of monsters to pen summon.
yeah. Because now here you're just locked at summoning only an abductor, and otherwise you could have pendulum summoned out Wisdom Eye, and then you could have just gone into possibly a Castell or a
I mean, and that misplay I do think will cost me a little bit, but like one of the things cause like in magicians, like you don't really, I've never really had issues like with scale consistency. To be honest, it's never really been a problem. Like my one of the Cosmo players I beat at locals a while back, like he had both Twin Twister and Slip Rider, and I was still able to set my scale.
yeah.
So it's pretty like the deck, especially thanks to Unicorn, the deck really doesn't have any trouble setting up scales anymore.
Yeah, Unicorns is such a versatile card in Pendulums, being a lower scale, and like its level 6 body in Magicians makes it pretty good because you can also go into rank 6 with Oath Dragon, usually opening up the OTK with like a Utopia Beyond.
Yeah, and what's funny about Utopia Beyond, I found, is that like if Cosmo players don't have Dark Destroyer, they really can't get over it. It's like funny how much they struggle to get over it.
Yeah. Here with Beatrice, I believe here I was just trying to go in for the OTK. Um, I remember here I was really struggling to see how much damage I can push out because I didn't really have much due to losing tour guide, and like that's what I've seen as a big dilemma I've came across is if I have a Twin Twisters and I have a Scarm Search at end phase but no cards in hand, it's like I either search tour guide and you don't expect that to be a Twin Twisters, and then I end up discarding the tour guide and I lose it, or I search out a Burning Abyss monster and you automatically know that's going to be a Twin Twisters for the
Yeah, and then
obvious.
here I think you hit me with the Dust Kaiju. So you played what, 3 Kaiju monsters total?
Yeah, I played 3 Kaiju monsters. I really should have just played 4 because 4 is the better ratio because it basically ensures that you don't run out of kaijus. But like I gotta say, Godarla is probably the strongest kaiju in BA kaiju, just because that you can go ahead and make Beatrice crash, make bring out Dante, and then just beat over it.
Yeah, for sure. And then the Barbar came down, and like Barbar's always been like that card that kind of you have to. That's always kind of gives me a bit of a dilemma with Barbars that like you have to be careful not to put yourself in like Barbar Nightmare Shark range. That could always a problem.
Yeah. Here, yeah, I was trying to go into the OTK. If I'm correct, I believe I didn't kill you. It's gonna be.
Yeah, I don't think it was game, but like I mean I wasn't in exactly a good position. I think he
Yeah,
far for the kaiju away.
5,000. Actually, I believe.
Yeah, it wasn't game, but it was a little. It came a little close, I believe.
Oh no, it was game.
Yeah, it was. And then
Yeah.
I'm looking back at my side deck. I didn't really side much for this matchup. My side wasn't. I definitely think I could have sided better. I believe game one. I think I sided in the chaos. Game two. I think the avians were something I was debating siding out because um, with avian, I don't really think it does a lot against burning abyss, to be honest, because they float. So
Yeah.
I was debating between siding out the eccentrics or the avians because I know you don't play a lot of. I kind of had a feeling you weren't playing a lot of traps.
Yeah, your best options for siding out here probably would have just been the eccentrics. If you knew you were going first, you Avion probably would have been better. But like also,
I think and I decided to side into Gamma Seals because the Gamma Seals prevented Beatrice from triggering. So that was my thinking. Thinking was siding in the Gamma Seals. Was
yeah, it really hurts getting Kaiju, or getting my Beatrice removed, that is not being destroyed. Because, like, having a Beatrice float, it's really, really powerful because just having board presence with that, it creates card advantage. Just being able to pitch a Seer to get back a Dante, or even have a Kaiju Slumber in the graveyard for next turn.
and of course I opened Pendulum Call again. Like I'm not gonna lie. I'm not. I don't think. I think Pendulum Call is a pretty ridiculous card. I mean, just for what it does.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I don't think it needs to be like limited or anything like the OCG, but it's definitely a really powerful card.
Yeah, like Pendulum Call, pretty much. It's a really, really strong card because it can just put you back into a winning position, and it's a good recovery card. But like if you open Pendulum Call, it pretty much you more than likely opened up the nuts, and in my opinion, it's probably like you just won with opening that card because I remember playing at locals. I was playing against a magician player once, and this was just a fun duel. But like we went over a series of like 3 matches, and every time he resolved Pendulum Call, he won the game.
Yeah, yeah. Even like because the thing is, Pendulum Call unbricked a lot of. I remember at locals against the Mermail player I 2-0'd in the game two. I think I opened Pendulum Call in like 3/8 scales. And it was.
Yeah.
He's like, why are you? He's like, you opened Pendulum Call. Why are you complaining about your hand? Because I had like Zephyros. I draw my hand. And I have Zephyros, two unicorns, and Dragon Pit and Pendulum Call. I'm just like, oh, what is this hand? It's so bad.
Yeah.
And he econned me here, and I was just like, oh god, what do I do? I noticed a lot of what I did notice though is a lot of Burning Abyss players are actually main decking econ. Do you main deck it, or did you main deck it or side it? And
Yeah, I main deck it as a 2 of because it's really good against pretty much all the matchups. It's really good against the Monarch matchup. The Pendulum matchup, it's really good because like if you're playing against Draco Pels, then you can go in and just snatch away the Luster, and like they can't go for a Nexter, and it's basically stops their whole play because then they can't go Nexter, Special Summon Master, go into Dynaster. They can't make that loop. And then again, it's subpar against Cosmo because like you can go in and try to snatch the pilot, and then you can just bait out the tag out.
yeah, for sure. And I was like, give me that back here in effect. I was just like,
Yeah,
nah, get out of here.
yeah. Here, if I remember correctly, I believe I had a tour guide in hand, and I was just trying to bait out the yeah. There's the tour guide because I was just trying to bait out the Kieran effect because I was really trying focusing on trying to get a Beatrice out on board to create presence, but there really wasn't much that I can do, and like I was just really afraid of the Kieran.
Yeah, I mean, because but the thing is that that's the thing is about Kieran is that it does create like a lot of problematic matchups for a deck like Burning Abyss that's heavily it's mostly annoying for like it's not annoying for the top tier decks, but it's mostly annoying if you're playing something like Burning Abyss or Rogue more than anything else, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm like just messing around. I'm totally gonna Valor Dante. and, and then the Rhino triggers. When I first read
yeah,
Rhino, I was just like, oh, it's just another foolish for the deck, and then I didn't realize like how the first effect of the card works because it does open up a lot of plays for BA.
yeah. It basically allows BA to play with different archetypes or level 3s, like it's really good because it extends the plays now that we have Beatrice, because the problem with like Beatrice is it being not being a BA monster. All your monsters die, but like if you make a Beatrice and you normal summon Phoenix Rhino, then it extends your plays because then you can just keep going. And then
Mm-hmm.
usually it creates some pretty gnarly combos, because like you can go in and go into a Beatrice with a Dante that was already on board, normal Fiendish Rhino, and keep making cards. And then if you manage a Barbar, then you can go ahead and make a Leviar, and then all your BA monsters still live due to Fiendish Rhino.
Yeah, and I believe didn't you also say your BA deck is meant to survive if it gets Winter Cherried going second?
Yeah, I created I made the deck specifically just to, like, still be able to play even through winter cherries, because like that was like one of the main problems that was a huge problem actually that pure BA variants had, is if you get winter cherry, then you basically lose. But that's why like I wanted that I was playing Crane, and I was playing Crane originally at 2, but I cut it down to 1 because space just got tight and I wanted to play 40 cards. So I played that, and I played the Leviar because basically the whole idea was I can go ahead and still make Beatrice by using Rubik, and so I played Stardust Charge Warrior in the extra. So I basically make a Virgil, go into Stardust Charge Warrior, get a draw off of that, and make Beatrice, and then just create board advantage.
So
And
what tuner did you play that besides because I obviously Rubik can't only be used for BAs, correct?
Yeah, but Crane negates the effect, so I can go ahead and make Stardust Charge.
I'm not sure. I think that's the case. I'm not sure if that's the case. I'd have to reread the rulings on Rubik. I know it negates the effect, but I thought Rubik is like a condition, so it can't be negated. And there's a lot of weird cards like that.
Yeah, as far as it was ruled for me on multiple occasions, it's an effect, basically like a continuous effect, and like the judge or the admin compared it to like a Denko. I guess not a very good card to compare it to comparison, but like compared it to Denko. So if Denko's effect is negated, you can still activate set spells and trap cards, and then so same thing applies with Rubik. That part of being able to synchro with only Burning Abyss monsters is negated.
Oh, that's interesting. Maybe at the ego refreshment. So you go into Virgil here, and my thinking is like you're probably going to spin my scale, but it's kind of irrelevant in this situation because you know I have the Wisdom Eye in hand, so it doesn't really matter at what you spend, to be honest.
Yeah, like here I was really thinking on which scale would be the better to spin back, because I was going through the graveyard and I was trying to see which scales have you already used and which scales you still have in deck that you can actually go off of.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, here I would have felt that Oath Dragon is just from my perspective. Oath Dragon is the better one to spin because it opens up a lot of really dumb plays, like Dragon Pit, and at least in my like, because the whole like looping Wisdom Eye combo relies on Oath Dragon Magician. So
yeah.
like, that's just me. I would have because and plus I do play multiple copies of Summoner's Art, so I feel like if I was you, I would have spun the Oath Dragon, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Eh, Okay, and you summoned the Calcab here. It wasn't, but I guess you just didn't have any other targets you wanted to summon.
Yeah, there were everything else in deck that I just really wanted to keep. I don't believe there was much I had in deck, but like there really wasn't much that I could have pitched. Like I didn't really want to pitch anything at the time, but it was just like that.
I believe here. I think I top decked into a Joker, so I was just like, I felt like I was in a, like amazing. Like I just was. I think I already had the Wisdom Eye in hand, and I was just like, or I had didn't have actually did not have the Wisdom Eye, but I top decked into the Joker, so I was like, I pretty much had everything I needed.
Yeah, once you topped out the Joker, I just knew it was already going to be game here, because there really wasn't much I can do because I couldn't get rid of the Keaton. So you could easily just bounce back the Joker and Keaton, the Joker and Beatrice, and then just beat over my Virgil or just shuffle it back.
Yeah, because like here, I believe I did also have the Yankee Magician in hand, so even if I wasn't able to kill, like even if you did try to activate the Beatrice, I could have negated both it and Virgil,
Yeah.
for sure. So it really wouldn't have. Once I got the Yankee out, it pretty much I had a block that you wouldn't have been able to break. And here I was just gonna go. I thought it was best to. I thought it was best to go ahead and bounce Beatrice now rather than wait to Pendulum Summon.
Yeah,
So I can get.
because here then you can go ahead and get back you can go ahead and pendulum back the Joker.
Yeah, that was I think the best play in this situation was to go ahead and just bounce the Beatrice now rather than wait.
Yeah. Here I don't remember what I pitched, but I guess what I could have pitched was a Farfa if I had one left, and then I could have banished a Farfa instead of it being bounced back.
Yeah, and then it wouldn't really matter though because like I believe you sent the Farfa, correct?
I don't remember what I sent back, but the proper play would have been to send back a Farfa or send a Farfa, banish the Joker instead.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, wait, let's see.
I mean, answering PMs. Half the time, I think when I'm doing this stuff, I'm not not dealing with like messaging people, like getting everything set up. That's like half the battle with some of these matches.
Yeah.
Right.
And now I remember here. I sent down the Joker just to like, bring back a Dante and just trying to basically attempting to survive here.
Yeah, and like here, I felt like I actually I was looking at like one of the I believe like I could have made Utopia Beyond, and that would have made it. I think believe I had a Pendulum Dragon in hand if I wasn't mistaken, but I'm not really sure. But if I did have the Pendulum Dragon, it was basically game.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. I think I was still debating which level fours I wanted to Pendulum Summon. Because half the time with like when I Pendulum Summon, I don't want to Pendulum 5 just out of like fear of like. But there's no back row here, obviously. All right, so let's see. I spent like ages thinking whether I wanted to. And I was like, now I have to think. It's like the biggest thing is that like I already used Kieran's effect, so I was debating whether I could go in because if you look at my extra, I don't have like Dweller in my extra deck because I'm bad. So like
Yeah.
that was like, but that's the thing with magicians, like with if you're not playing like other engines like the Dark Engine, it really does hurt you a lot of times. And and here I was just like, that was it, because like I remember you were like, that was it, because I feel like I could have gone Oath Dragon Magician, but like or gone into Utopia Beyond, but it really wouldn't have mattered, and I felt like I was in a winning position anyways.
Yeah. I found it quite funny that you just ended your turn there. Like I just figured that you were gonna go ahead and try to make a Utopia Beyond and then just go ahead and begin beating. Like at first, I was really scared because I just figured that you would have basically won at that point because if you had Dweller, then you could have just made Dweller activate effect and then Utopia Beyond and then just beat over all my monsters and like at that point I
Yeah.
didn't really have anything in hand and I
I
couldn't
mean,
recover
and that was
from
my
it.
mistake for not playing Dweller. I think I learned that lesson just from locals trips was that like I got to play Dweller. And that was like, and the biggest thing is if you don't have like, and the thing about losing a Wisdom Eye is it gives you less rank level fours. So that's one of the reasons in my actual build I'm playing the Dark Engine because it gives you easier access to rank fours without having to do a bunch of extra stuff.
Yeah, the Dark Engine is just really good right now. Because like, well, and magicians anyways, because with the Dark Engine, it basically, it can extend your plays because with like Wisdom Eye, if you have a Wisdom Eye Oath Dragon, then you can go and an Armageddon Knight, then you can normal summon the Armageddon Knight, pitch his Zephyros, activate Oath Dragon, activate Wisdom Eye and then Wisdom Eye into like a Dragon Pit or another Oath, and then Zephyros back that, or no, Wisdom Eye grab back the gets back from Oath Dragon, and then like you can activate it again since Zephyros just bounces one of the scales, and you can just go ahead and go off, and you basically get a free plus from that.
Yeah, I remember one of the guys, the Cosmo player I beat at locals, the guy next to him was jokingly saying, "Check his deck. He used Joker 4 times because between like Zephyros and Kieran, I used it like 4 times in a duel. It was ridiculous." And I think here you were like trying to like you wanted to use the breakthrough to negate my and I was asking what the target for Virgil was. I'm assuming you were going to spin my scale, but it was kind of irrelevant with what you spun in the situation because I had the Wisdom Eye and the Joker in hand. That's that guess yeah, you could know I had the Joker and the Wisdom Eye both in hand.
Yeah.
And there really wasn't a lot you could do in this because I didn't really think there was a lot you could have done in this situation.
Yeah, in this situation, I basically exhausted all my resources, so there really wasn't much I could have done if I really wanted to do anything. And even so, that board is pretty scary to get over because with the Kieran, it really sets up a threat because if I can't really attempt to Xyz, because like if I try to go in for a Beatrice here, you could just go ahead and Kieran it away. Or if like even if I had a crane or a tour guide, then you could have just bounced that back and it literally kills the entire play,
Mm-hmm.
basically.
For sure. And the main thing is that like my board is still pretty potent as well, even though the Yankee is Breakthrough Skill the only traps that were in the main deck for you? I wasn't really sure. Like that was the only thing I remember seeing.
Yeah, I played two breakers because like breaker is just really good. Because it stops Dweller against pendulums and like it has a really good it use against Rogue in a lot of decks. Because just being able to negate that, and then also like against monsters that are threats, like in a pendulum matchup, I can go to negate your Dweller on my turn. I can also negate like your Oddeyes Vortex as well.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that like I noticed. Like I don't think because I know you traditionally a little bit I've heard of your decks. You don't like playing a lot of traps more often than not.
Yeah, because most of the decks that I play are usually combo decks, and like pretty much in all of those, you really can't play traps at all, and just traps aren't very good in Burning Abyss. Like they used to be really good, obviously, because we used to be playing Phoenix Wind Blast, Karma Cuts, Raigeki Breaks, all of that good stuff. But now the deck has just become more of like spam and spit out Beatrice and win from there.
Yeah, and that's one
So
of the
traps
reasons
really
why
slow that down.
Traveler kind of is. I noticed that a lot of the Burning Abyss variants moved back to playing. They were kind of Traveler was always the card that they went back and forth on, but I noticed like all the new builds play it now. I noticed like all most
Yeah,
of the
like
builds play at least one to two copies.
yeah, Traveler's been really juggling around. Actually, I've seen a lot of BA players dropping Traveler just to the fact like it's a really good card, but most of the time it just requires your um, it's really only good if you can bring back like maybe three plus monsters, but most of the time now you only bring back maybe like two monsters. Like the most you're gonna do is Beatrice, and Beatrice detach Dante, and usually pitch maybe like a Farfa, and in that case you're only bringing back two, and then regardless that Farfa is gonna die because of the Beatrice, or that BA monster is gonna die due to Beatrice being
Yeah, I
on
feel
the
like
board.
it was like it's like a slower version of Soul Charge. Like so, it's like I remember early BA variants as long as I could remember, like at least until like Cross Souls came out, were running Soul Charge, and it's the same. It's sort of like a slow Soul Charge, basically, is really what it is.
Yeah.
But and I also noticed a lot of BA players are also completely cut Fire Lake, which I always thought Fire Lake was just an obnoxiously powerful card. But the thing is, like, with pendulums kind of not being as relevant and targeting not being as good, I can understand why it's cut. Plus, it does require quite a bit of setup.
Yeah, Fire Lake. It's a I don't want to say it's a good card. Like right now, it's not so much. It's not so good because the main part of like the main focus of running Abyss, specifically Pier now, is to go ahead and spam out Beatrice, and Beatrice isn't a Burning Abyss, so you can't pitch that with Fire Lake. And also another thing is like Fire Lake is only good against two of the three meta matchups, which would be Monarchs and Pendulums, and it's not good against Cosmo because it targets and the ships are untargetable.
And here I actually resolved the Joker, so I was just debating on the target because I knew I also had the Wisdom Eye in hand, so I think I actually opted to add the Odd Eyes here.
Yeah, it really didn't matter what you searched out here because you essentially had game on here, and at this point, I just sort of like I already sort of accepted I was going to lose game two, and I was just really hoping that I did a brick game three. Like I really did not have much to side for you besides like maybe three cards, and
Yeah,
that's it.
I think game one. I think what I ended up siding out is I think I ended up siding out one of my Bumbakus because I think I was main decking two. So like game three, I kind of debated did I want to side the Kaiju's out or not because I believe I think I ended up putting one Bumbaku back in and then keeping one of the Kaiju's. Because that was the thing about this deck was like I'd been playtesting Blue Eyes a lot before this, and I'd had like get it almost like as good as quote unquote good as Blue Eyes could get, but then I decided to play this the last minute. But
Yeah.
for a last minute
Um,
deck, it actually worked pretty solid though.
yeah. What's it called? I probably actually, if I had more time, um, more knowledge about the tourney ahead of time, I probably would have gone to play Blue Eyes, just because like it's with Alternative Dragon, it's pretty much like the best deck because it's not. What I believe like that makes it so strong is it's not so much of its power, but its consistency on being able to spam out like a huge board with any hand is just really good.
Yeah, and the deck is, and I would say that the deck, like, Konami did say that once they felt that the deck will get some tops at some point, and I think if you the full, I mean, obviously, like because all the other decks are destroyed, Blue Eyes is doing really well in the OCG, but just from testing it against Cosmos, like Blue Eyes is good in a way, but the problem is like you make a big board, and then it's really easy to break the board. That's part of the problem. It's good, and it can do some insane things, but like once you break a Blue Eyes player's board, there's not a lot of plays they can do. It's sort of like it reminds me a lot of mid game Mermails. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's really, really fragile, and like, they don't really have all the monsters. Like, they don't have any form of protection besides Chaos Max Dragon just being basically immune to everything. But other than that, all the monsters that you really bring out are usually Xyz and maybe a Synchro. But like all of that's just really, really fragile.
So I'm guessing the warning was cited in. I'm guessing I don't think you were main decking it. I believe.
Oh, warning. Actually, I was main decking that. The only traps I played were two breakers and one warning. Everything else was cited, like the chaos trap holes that I played.
Yeah, I cited the Chaos Trap holes or something like, and here I actually opened the Gamma Seals. So I was just like, I want to get the Beatrice off the field and prevent her from triggering. I, f-
Yeah.
I, I feel like the
When you
Kai.
got the Gamma Seal, I was really scared.
Yeah, like
Just because, like, since you since you got rid of essentially my only defense, um, it really hurt because it just made like getting my Beatrice Kaiju it's like one of the it really hurts a lot, and I think that's probably like the main way you can hurt a BA player is getting rid of their Beatrice, because like it the thing with Beatrice is it creates so much card advantage, just being able to go ahead and get grave effects off, but also when she dies, you can just go ahead and bring out essentially a forerunner.
Yeah, and a forerunner that allows you to draw more cards. I mean, and my thinking here was whether I wanted to pitch the odd eyes or not, and what I wanted to search because like half the time I feel like with odd, and I obviously like I'm playing BA, so I'm gonna search the Yankee Magician. I felt like it was the best play. And here, and the thing I remember a lot about this game is I was just like really worried about the warning because like I saw the warning, I was like, oh shit, is he got strikes?
Yeah, at the time, I was just trying to keep my build as close to my real life build as possible. So I was playing Chaos Strapples rather than strikes.
Yeah, and I don't recall what you were actually looking up in this situation. What was it? I don't know what ruling you were looking up.
Um, I do remember it was. I don't remember, but it wasn't the ruling based on Beatrice. It was a ruling that if I activated a card, it'll pop up right now as the duel continues on.
Yeah, and the thing with the kite, and the thing is like my thinking with the Yankee Magician was that like it. I didn't think it was a good. I went ahead and just put it in the scale because I figured that like well like I need to get my odd eyes back anyways, and I had the avian as well, so I felt like if you had bottomless or something, it could. I felt like the one thing I learned about avian that makes it so good is not that it's disruptive, but the fact it gets your summons will go through usually. Your summons can go through if your opponent has something like Rafflesia out, for example.
Yeah,
It's like a little bit of extra insurance to make sure if your opponent doesn't have a strike or warning. Uh, and then Dante got his effect. And that's the other thing I noticed I did like about having Avian was that I noticed about magicians is that they do have trouble getting over Dante's defense because most of your big monsters are 2500.
yeah, and then like pendulums outside of like the Dinister, like outside of that Draco, it doesn't really have much removal besides Castell, and basically all your monsters that you have, the biggest would probably be like maybe 2500. So just like having that defense, just it's pretty good.
Yeah, and then there I decided to set the ignite reload because it's a my thinking. I find how often people will just simply blind MST it because it's set, and my thinking here was if you did happen to try to remove it, I could just chain it in response.
Yeah.
That's probably what you were thinking on the end phase, I would guess, if you were gonna MST my face down.
Well, here I probably had a twin twister, and I was probably just debating on whether to use it or not.
And then the Gamma Seal got to come back, and then now the Twin Twister came down.
Yeah, there goes the twin twister. I was essentially just trying to beat out your Miss Valley Apex Avion at that time.
And then with this, my thinking was I really didn't need like with reload. There's that I like that it's a quick play. I mean, I don't wouldn't play it probably in my own build, but in this particular version, it worked really good.
Yeah,
I was thinking on the Farfra whether I wanted to negate it or not, but I kind of had to. Basically, I feel like
yeah,
I didn't want it to get banished, and then I wanted to be able to penalty it next turn.
yeah.
And you had
I
to
was
do
just
that.
trying to go ahead and
I'm guessing like you wanted to get the avian off because you know tour guide gets negated, you're going to be put really far behind.
yeah. My first objective was go ahead and get rid of any possible threats. So that's why I went ahead and used some Twister to pop the back row, and then Farfa to bait out the to go ahead and bait out the Mist Valley Apex Avion, because then that just opens up my tour guide and allows me to go ahead and go off.
Yeah, and I remember Barbar being a problem later on, but I know was it an accident that you went for Barbar? I would guess it was just a misclick.
From on this match on
Yeah,
this game.
yeah. Like, I was wondering. Like, I remember you grabbed the Barbar first, but then you went for the Rhino.
Oh yeah, that was a misplay. I didn't want to go ahead. I just was trying to. Usually, with tour guide, like if I don't really have many resources, I'll just go ahead and try to go ahead and go for Rhino, because then with that is when I mill, I can go ahead and choose. I can go ahead and send something based on what I mill, because that's just so good with Rhino. Like you mill your cards, and if you don't mill any Burning Abyss monsters, then you can go ahead and just mill something else. Or if you mill like a Seer or a Graph, you can use that Rhino to mill the opposite to get yourself another Dante.
Yeah, you went for the Beatrice here, and then the Seer triggered. I'm assuming it would. I believe Farfa had already activated this turn, so you're probably gonna special. Yeah, you bought back the Dante.
Yeah, like right here, I was just going and trying to go for a game because I knew I had game here, with the with a barber. So like I was just really trying to push forward and basically try to make it to a point where you couldn't recover from it.
Yeah, and I believe off the Ignite Reload, I did draw into my Chaos Trap hole, which we're gonna see that later. I believe I did draw into that off of the Ignite Reload, and I think I also drew an Abductor. I'm not really sure. Obviously I can't see my hand from here for just
Yeah.
but I believe that's what I drew off of the and the thing, that's kind of like the thing about Abductor is like it was a great card, but I definitely wouldn't max out on it again just because you want to see it, but it's not something like you want to see mid to late game.
Yeah, like in Magicians, you don't really want to max out on Abductor because like you really require your scales to be magicians, just being take advantage of their effects. So like Abductor really just locks up that opportunity to go for them.
I believe here I went ahead and I had multiple avians on the summon, so like that obviously put me in a pretty good position.
Yeah, when you brought out the double Avion, I was just like, well, this really wasn't going to end up well because that's multiple negations. So then you can go in and negate the Beatrice. So like, basically either ways, I really can't play Yu-Gi-Oh at this point.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing, and that was the thing is that, you were going to inactivate, you were acting like you don't need a return. I was just like making sure the game state was, repaired or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just repairing the game state.
Yeah, like I noticed that a lot with the end players. Like half of them, like when they try to activate effect or when they activate an effect, they continue it off and like they play as if you don't have a response. But then when you say you have a response, half of them will just leave the game state as it is, and then the other half will go ahead and just go back and fix the game state. And to be honest, I myself
And here I
find
was
it obnoxious
debating
that
because
you
like
go back and
I knew
fix
that
the
it
game state.
And here I was debating like whether I wanted to run over the Beatrice or the Dante. I don't know whether leaving the. I feel like maybe leaving the Beatrice out might have been the better play, and just keep running over the Dante. But looking back, I'm not really sure. They did have the Chaos Trap hole in hand, but at this point, I felt like I was playing a game of chicken. It's like if I negate the Beatrice or not, it's going to be a problem for me. I think.
Yeah.
All right, and I believe here, like, did you made a? I believe you made another Beatrice. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, right here is where I made the other Beatrice, and I remember you were talking about how you were basically arguing with yourself on whether you should go ahead and Chaos Trap hole the Beatrice.
Yeah.
And then
It's like I could. I mean, I don't think it would have been bad. I could have. I don't think I needed to, but I felt just if the Beatrice did resolve, that I would be like really far behind. Like maybe it wasn't the right move, but I just felt like if that Beatrice hit the field, that I would be put in a bad position. And
yeah,
and it
because
wouldn't have mattered because the seer had been pitched, so it was more than likely that it would have been forfeit anyways. So it was like I was in a bit bad position. I think if I didn't stop the Beatrice, it was more than likely a farf. It was going to get the avian would have been farfoed, and you had multiple breakthrough skills in the graveyard. So I felt like
yeah, so like
I was in a kind of a no-win position. I think in the situation, so I felt like the best play was to Chaos Trap hole it. Maybe in hindsight it wasn't, but I just felt that that was the best thing to do.
yeah, but like the problem with the like chaos trap holding it is if I essentially your Avion here is dead just because I have the breakthrough skills to go ahead and negate it. So like I wasn't necessarily worried about that. But like once I got over that board, like the problem with Chaos Trap pulling it is you leave yourself open for an OTK.
Yeah, I mean, it probably wasn't the best play looking back in hindsight, but I definitely think that it was. I couldn't. Maybe it wasn't the better play, but I honestly think that like even if I had let the Beatrice hit the field, it wouldn't have. I probably was in a losing situation. I probably could have won on the next turn. To be honest, it was probably a big oversight on my part.
Yeah, you easily had game next turn if you stopped my play. Because like I basically using all my resources here, um, and like and at this point I've basically exhausted them, and there really isn't much else I can go ahead and do after using them up. Like here, I was just really trying to focus to go for a game, and when I realized that I forgot I had Nightmare Shark, and I was like, I have this, and then I remember here um, you tried to activate Miss Valley Apex Avion, and I remember Bradley messaged me saying that bouncing is for cost, but I had to look it up,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
basically everyone else ruled it as the targeting itself is for cost, and it bounces at resolution.
yeah, and just just to declare, and that about comes the end of the duel. So what ended up happening was you Nightmare Sharked me for game, and then Mojo and them were saying Avian was a cost, but it's not. The thing about Avian was that like it's worded really weirdly. Like it's because like new cards like Exciton Knight are ruled once per chain, but older cards like Avian
Yeah.
say like once per whatever. So like that. But anyway, so that comes to the end of the video, guys. I ended up going into round three. Unfortunately, did not make it to the finals. But how far did you make it, Robert? Because I believe I don't have your next round matches. Did,
I made it to the following round, losing to I lost to Cosmo. He carried me game two, but I misplayed because earlier on I rhinoed I milled the wrong thing at the wrong time, and like it just really lost me the game.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah, but and I actually I thought but the thing about it surprised me the most, but just I don't think I had the match recorded, but watching the match was how you were able to actually come back after getting cherried. That was really
yeah,
surprising to me. But anyway, guys,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. My bad.
Um, yeah, like once he cherried me, I just figured that it was gonna it was really hurt me, but like I had plays to continue going off, but he had the answers, and from there it was a complete blowout.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, as always, like to thank you guys for watching the video today. Really appreciate you guys watching my videos. Tune in on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays for more Yugioh content, and stay tuned for more matches of the Team APS Community Tournament.